Earth, as you got hints of in the trailer. So that's enabled us to put characters together in a Stargate milieu that wouldn't, in any normal circumstance, be on another planet or on another part of the universe. They knocked on Eli's door in the trailer, and that's how he got there.
The other thing that I think that I think I can tell you is that big things are going to happen very quickly. That in terms of what happens and what unfolds in the show, even in the first 10 episodes, Brad and I are not big fans of shows that sort of have one little story that they're going to try and stretch out over 7 seasons. And so you're going to find that, if you do skip an episode, you might miss something huge, that there will be major revelations in terms of what's going on with these characters and the storylines. I think, in fact, you might be surprised at some of the major changes and shakeups that happen as we go along, even in the first 10.
Great.
Okay, I'm one of the 7 people. I'm here because I'm still here.
That's fine. You're welcome. I'm kidding.
Because I have everything that Mr. Carlisle has made, I think. My favorite being Hamish. And my question was, what drew you to this role specifically with Stargate and the character?
Great question.
Okay. Well, I guess it's just a part of my personal story. Last year, in the summertime, I went to Los Angeles and I was kind of looking for something different, to be honest with you. I was looking to do something different. The film industry back home in Britain it is kind of struggling, to be perfectly honest with you. And I was looking for something, a different challenge, something fresh. And when this came up, it was completely, to use an American expression, it was completely left field for me. It was completely from nowhere. And to be honest, I didn't know that much about Stargate. I knew it was there, I knew that it existed. But through chatting with Robert and Brad, it was obvious that what they were, as Robert had said earlier, my first reaction was, why the hell do you want me to do this? But through the conversations that we had, and then looking at the scripts that they sent me, I began to understand what they were trying to do, that this is very much a character-driven piece, and they were looking for someone who could maybe do that. One of the things I thought was quite interesting that Brad, I think it was Brad, said to me, he said they were looking for someone that could make dislikable things quite likable, something like that. I thought, I'm your man for that, for sure. So that's what kind of drew me to it. Was really the spirit of these two guys here and what they put on the plate.
Next.
My question is for Brad and Robert. Brad, you've lost some hair, looks like. I know, just kidding. My question is...
He's very sensitive about that.
Since I got here? Since I stood up here? Or? Go ahead.
My question is, since the new premise of the show is going to be spreading out across the universe in this rock and roll ship, are we finally going to see a lot more non-Jaffa, non-English speaking aliens out there?
Well, the first thing we did was make a blood pact. That we would not have, rubber-faced English-speaking aliens in the first season. I think it was the first season.
We said forever, but
forever's
a very long time.
Yeah. We really wanted a universe, because it takes place out on the frontier. It's about exploring the universe, the galaxies that we've never been to, and we really wanted that experience to be to feel somewhat realistic. Find aliens or alien life forms that you feel like you might actually find out in in space. So there was a rationale for having human beings in the Pegasus and Milky Way galaxies in our mythology. They were kidnapped from Earth. They were taken to those planets. So in a way, it was kind of there was an explanation built into Stargate as to why there were, humans or human-like people on other planets. So in universe, we're having in the first season, there's some very, very sort of aliens. It's entirely CG and certainly not non-human.
Lots of. I mean, we do encounter aliens, but they don't say things to us in ways that the Wraith would or the Gould would. And it also comes from a desire when we said to each other we want it to be much more character driven. In SG-1 and Atlantis, our characters, we had a very difficult time when our characters came up against each other, because there was the Gould out there. Well, you can't be petty. This little arguing between each other doesn't make any sense. We have got a big enemy out there to fight. In Universe, all of our characters are both heroes and villains, and have remarkably, because of their ability to perform, been able to slip in and out of the skin of both, and it's really fun to watch, and been really interesting for us to write and to watch it evolve. And it's still a very, very much of a science fiction milieu. We're aboard an ancient ship that's a beautiful place to explore and stunning, built by our production designer James Robbins. I think it's his best work, and I think it's as a set the best set I've ever been associated with. It's very, it's just stunning. And there's still a Stargate, and we're still going to go through that Stargate and have adventures and meet alien races. They're just not going to try to suck the life force out of us as they, do it.
Hi, this question is...
Oh, wait, Bobby
was just going to add to that.
I just wanted to add to that, to what Brad was saying, that in my experience, the only similarity for me was the Bond sets that I've worked on. I mean, it's that good. It's that good. The workmanship and the craftsmanship in these sets are just absolutely stunning. And it films beautifully, photographs beautifully, it works incredibly well as a set. It really is. It's like a major budget feature set, for sure.
Thank you, Charlie.
Go ahead.
This question is for Jamil. Jamil, I'm a big fan of both your grandfather, Greg, and your dad, Phil. Could you talk just a little bit about what it's like to be a third-generation working African-American film star?
Well, I guess when you become a working African-American film star, one of the things that could happen is that things get out there that aren't true. So my father is not Greg Morris, and my grandfather is not Phil Morris. So, but I loved Mission Impossible in the 60s. But brothers, we are kind of, I guess, it's a family thing. But no, it's good to be when I got this, my mom said, "You're going to be the next LeVar Burton." I love reading Rainbow. What up, LeVar?
Without an air filter over his eyes.
Yeah.
This question is for the entire cast. I just wanted to know what it was like, what the pressure was like working with the original actors who created the legacy that is Stargate.
I'll jump in. Yeah. No, one of the first things I got to do was that wonderful scene of it was kind of trial by fire. It was very much like what you saw Robert Carlyle and RDA coming knocking on my door. It was great. Having seen it before, it was kind of, I was spoiled as an actor. I was being brought into this world as a character, and I got to do it as a person too. So very little acting was really required. And almost everybody, it was nice. It didn't feel like a handing off of the torch or anything like that. It was nice to kind of be welcomed with open arms by the previous cast. For me,